Hi guys, I'm back again today with another video, and today we are checking out two videos in one again. We have why do Canada and the Netherlands love each other, and then we have the exiled princess of Ottawa. So before we start, don't forget to subscribe, click the bell button, and let's find out.
Every year, much of the Western world commemorates VE Day, which marks the end of World War II in Europe. But in Canada and the Netherlands, VE Day also represents the beginning of a unique diplomatic relationship. So why do Canada and the Netherlands love each other? Well, relations between Canada and the Netherlands actually stem back to 1940, when Germany began its occupation of the Netherlands during World War II. To stay safe during the war, the Dutch royal family took refuge in Canada for 5 years, during which time the Queen gave birth to her daughter, Princess Margriet. Interestingly, the Ottawa hospital where Margriet was born was temporarily declared Dutch territory so that she could obtain dual citizenship. Canada was also crucial to the Netherlands during the final months of the war, by which time German occupation had resulted in mass starvation and tens of thousands of civilian casualties. Canada's Air Force carried out food drops to isolated Dutch cities and fought alongside their army to push out the Nazis. After the war ended, Canadian forces remained in the Netherlands to distribute food and rebuild communities. Because of this, they're widely regarded among the Dutch as both liberators and saviors. Since the war, Canada and the Netherlands alliance has only grown stronger. Both are founding members of a number of international organizations, including NATO and the Organization for Security and Cooperation. What's more, the two countries jointly supported a 1996 UN resolution to ban anti-personnel mines, and have worked together on a number of peacekeeping missions. Dutch forces even fought alongside the Canadian Army during the war in Afghanistan until the Netherlands withdrew from the conflict in 2010. The two countries also share strong business ties. The Netherlands is Canada's second largest source of direct foreign investment, and its primary seaport plays a key role in transporting Canadian goods throughout Europe. In 2014, bilateral trade exceeded $7 billion, leading the Canadian government to call the Netherlands one of Canada's most significant trade, investment, and innovation partners. The Dutch also have a long history of migrating to Canada. In the late 19th century, thousands of Dutch farmers settled in the Canadian West. A second and third wave of immigrants arrived after World War I and II, and today about 1 million Canadian Dutch reside in Canada, making them one of the country's largest immigrant groups. Friendly relations between Canada and the Netherlands should come as no surprise, as they share a number of similarities. Both are parliamentary democracies with a history of supporting liberal values, like environmental conservation, same-sex marriage, and universal health care. Both boast extremely low rates of crime and corruption and are involved in very few international disputes. But should a war break out, there's no question Canada and the Netherlands would have each other's backs. We couldn't make fascinating episodes like this without our sponsor, Domain.com. If you're an entrepreneur, innovator, or building a small business...
Okay, that was very... Oh, wait, I don't know if they're gonna continue.
Are giving Seeker fans 20% off domain names and web hosting when you use coupon code Seeker at checkout. Across the board, Canada is a pretty friendly country, and despite Russia's large number of intergovernmental conflicts, even they are pretty cool with Canada. Kind of. Find out more about Canada and Russia's complicated alliance by watching this video.
In the mid-1940s, a Soviet embassy clerk defected to Canada and revealed the extent of Russia's spy network.
Okay, we'll just let
this
it play
event,
out.
according to some, sparked the Cold War itself.
Thanks for watching Seeker Daily. Don't forget to like and subscribe for new videos every day.
That was a really short, but like he gave us all the information we needed in a specific amount of time. And I didn't know the relationship between Canada and the Netherlands, but he made us know. Like I would have never, like, why would I even sit down and ponder upon it, right? It was never something that I was interested in, nor I came across. But here we are today, and it's actually very fascinating now to think what countries are allies with one another and how they even became allies. But anyways, let's move on to the next video, the exiled princess of Ottawa. Oh, very ominous.
This is Commissioner's Park in Ottawa. Every May, 500,000 people gather to watch the city bloom. The annual Tulip Festival is the biggest in the world. The event has become so synonymous with Ottawa that its origins have gotten a little lost. Even if you know that 10,000 of these tulips are an annual gift from the Netherlands, you might not know why. The answer involves royalty, rights of succession, and the liberation of a nation. A story that takes us back more than 75 years to a much darker May. This is Canadiana. May 1940. The Nazis are tearing through the Netherlands. As the invaders draw near, the Dutch royal family makes a narrow escape, fleeing to London to establish a government in exile. But London isn't exactly safe either. The Battle of Britain is about to begin. Over the next few months, German bombs will kill tens of thousands of British civilians. Queen Wilhelmina fears for her children and her grandchildren, so they're evacuated all the way across the ocean. Crown Princess Juliana and her two daughters, Beatrix and Irene, settle in Ottawa, here in Rockcliffe Park, to await the fate of their homeland. The war rages for 3 more dark years, with no end in sight. But there is one glimmer of hope from the exiled family. Princess Juliana is pregnant. There's another princess on the way. The news is a great boost for Dutch morale, but politically, it's a thorny issue. Suddenly, archaic rules about bloodlines and right of succession are serious issues in Ottawa. Canada has to be sure that Juliana's child is born 100% legally and solely Dutch. So, as the due date approached, they prepared 4 rooms here at Ottawa Civic Hospital. It's a common misconception that the maternity ward was declared Dutch territory for the birth, but that's a myth. The truth is, it didn't need to be. Canada practices jus soli, birthright citizenship. If you're born on Canadian soil, you are a Canadian. But the Dutch, on the other hand, only practice jus sanguinis, right of blood. If you're born to Dutch parents, it doesn't matter where you're born, you're Dutch. So Juliana's daughter would automatically be born Dutch. Though there still was one problem. They needed to...
Yeah, because like, she's gonna be born in... Can she be both dual, or in back in the days they didn't have those stuff? Because if you're gonna be born in Canada and you are automatically Canadian, but then in Netherlands, it doesn't matter where you're born, you're still Dutch. So does that make you dual citizen? Let me know. Or maybe he's gonna tell us.
She wasn't also accidentally born Canadian. And so the maternity ward didn't become...
But then I just remembered he said you have to be fully Dutch to be like an inheritor or something of that nature. Blood, when it comes to blood, she is. But when it comes to citizenship, she's not. So does that make her not, like, she doesn't have the rights to inherit properties in the Netherlands? Or does she get a leeway? There's so many questions. Why did I even, like, I feel like I just unpacked something, like a rabbit hole that I just fell in. Now I have so many questions.
So accidentally born Canadian. And so the maternity ward didn't become Dutch territory. It became denationalized. While Juliana was giving birth, no nation had claim to the ward. It was like a little puddle of international waters. On a freezing cold January afternoon, just a few blocks from Holland Avenue, Juliana gave birth to a baby girl. She was named after a flower, a symbol of Dutch resistance against the Nazis. Little baby Marguerite. That day, for the first and only time, a foreign flag flew from the Peace Tower. And the Canadians weren't done yet. 2 years later, in 1945, the 1st Canadian Army swept into the Netherlands. The Royal Air Force launched Operation Manna, airdropping food to the starving population. The grateful people below spelled out thank you messages using the national flower of the Netherlands, tulips. The 1st Canadian Army would go on to liberate the Netherlands. On a very sunny May the 5th, the occupying forces officially surrendered. Juliana, Beatrix, Irene, and little Marguerite were going home. Later that same year, despite suffering horrible post-war scarcity, the Netherlands sent Canada a gift, 100,000 tulips. And the next year, they sent another 10,000. And then again, and again, and again, every year since. In 2001, the tulip was declared the official flower of Ottawa, further strengthening the bond. And now, every May, the city blooms in bright tribute to those dark days of the Second World War, when Canada sheltered a princess and freed a nation.
Oh, that was a beautiful story.
The famous
Now I
Canadian
know.
writer Farley Mowat was there at the end of the war. As the hostilities drew to a close and the people of the Netherlands were in danger of starvation, Captain Mowat and another soldier took it upon themselves to drive straight at the Germans with a big white flag so they could talk their way behind enemy lines and then negotiate a truce with a Nazi general, which is what allowed Operation Manna to begin and the planes to start dropping their supplies. You can learn more about that story in the links we'll post and the description below. If you like this video and you'd like to see more, please subscribe. We want to tell many more stories from every corner of this giant country, but to do it, we'll need your support. You can become a regular supporter by becoming a patron on Patreon, or you can give us a...
Like I said, that was a beautiful story. Now I know. Now I know. So if I ever see the tulips, say if I do go to Canada, behind at the back of my head, I would be like, this is, you know, for helping out the Netherlands. And it's just so many historical moments that they don't teach us at school, at least for us on this side of the world. But it's also significant. We learn about so many other things and other history, but other parts of the world, like we focus so much on like American history, which is essential, but we forget the rest of the world. I don't think we do the United Kingdom. If we do, it's probably like really, really short. We don't focus on European historical events. No, we do, because of the we talk about this a little bit, you know, the Hitler moments. I remember that, but I didn't. You know what's weird? I never learned that in history, but I learned it in political science. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think it was in our history books or lessons, but it was in my political science class. Well, maybe it was significant to our political science. I don't remember. Yeah. Anyways, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.